Although this is just a setup video, doesn't that look awesome? It is now time to unbox and set up the Pit Boss Platinum Laredo 1000. This is a sweet wood pellet grill and smoker. This was purchased from Walmart for just around $500. This is a team lift, so you need someone definitely to help move it here. I'm going to unbox it now and start the setup process. Before we go much further, if you're new here, my name is Jeff, and this is Jeff Reviews for You. I review a whole lot of products. I specialize in reviewing as seen on TV items. Every once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that aligns with something that you're looking for online, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. One more thing, don't forget to check down the description for my social media, Instagram and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, without any more interruptions, let's set up our brand new Pit Boss Smoker Model Laredo 1000. Just so you know, as soon as you cut the packing straps, you cannot carry the box anymore because that top of the box just comes off, just leaving the base. They do recommend having a piece of cardboard handy, which I'm actually going to use the box and this carpet that's already down there so you do not scratch pieces of it during the install. I'm going to keep unboxing this, but make sure you look through all the different corners of the box because they do stuff various pieces everywhere. So make sure you have all your pieces before you start your initial setup. Our first step is to put a piece of foam here on the ground and lay the entire unit sideways. Now this piece of foam has openings in it, those openings so it can lay flat. Now we are going to take the front legs, which are labeled 20 and 22. The labels are on the inside. 20 goes up here on the top near the pellet box. They just go in like this, and from the inside, you put 3 on each leg of the screw labeled A. So you tighten from the inside. The directions tell us do not fully tighten until everything is put in. So I'm going to put both legs in and then tighten them down. Here's what the screws look like on the inside. Frustrating part, things are in the way like this. So you have to get like a side angled screwdriver to get that in, because when I started screwing it in, I started stripping it. So just be careful of that. Next step is to put the front plate in. It goes right here. We need to get 5 C-type screws, and we're going to screw them in sideways here, 1, 2 on the other sides, and then 1 comes through in the middle. Remember, we're not tightening them down until we get the base in on a future step. Now that we put those 5 screws on the outside, we're going to grab 2 of the A screws, put 1 here, and put 1 up here. We're on the inside of the cooker itself to screw the front face plate together. All right, so it's time to put the bottom tray in. Remember, the flat part is here so we can sit stuff on top of it. Once you get it in place, you're going to put an A screw here in the top and then 1 in the corresponding hole on the bottom of the front leg. I tell you what, it was really easy to get the screw in on the top side, but underneath here, well, I haven't actually got it in there yet. I've tried lots of different ways of moving the unit, but it seemed unstable. So I'm going to wait to put that screw underneath until I can at least stand it up. So right now I'm going to put the back legs on and hopefully this thing continues smoothly. I will say this was the most challenging part so far. Doing it by myself was putting these back legs on. It's not impossible, but it's definitely easier to get someone to help hold these tight to the bottom of the grill here, and so you can screw them in from that side. Like I said, it wasn't impossible. It was just a little difficult on your own. Now we come to the part of the installation where we put our wheels on. There are 2 types of wheels. This wheel does not have any brake. It is just a wheel, and this one goes here, and another one just like it goes on that side. Remember, this is the part where the hopper is. The other type of wheel, which goes at the bottom, has a brake on it. Now, the good part is this right here swivels, so I can screw this in down here at the bottom and the brake won't get in my way, and then I can swivel it back into place when I stand it up. After we get the wheels on, we actually will stand it up. Now that we have the grill upright, it's time to go and tighten all the different screws. I'll say again, it is very frustrating that some of these screws are blocked by the pieces, and so you have to have like a sideways screwdriver just to tighten them down. I was able to get the screw in down here, although it was pretty challenging to do it once it was standing up. The next step we're going to do is install the handle. Technically, the directions tell you to do this when it's laying down, except I wanted to get mine up and get all the screws tightened in first. The screws for the handle are actually already installed. We're just going to unscrew them, put them through, and hook it in place. This brings us to step 8. Step 8 is screwing the chimney on. So I put this in place. Then I have 4 size C screws to go in all the corners of the chimney. Now we're going to take the chimney top here, turn it around upside down, screw it in through that hole there, and have the top of our chimney. Step 9 has us installing our front mounting shelf. It's actually going to go here. We take 4 size A screws and they go on the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually a cool feature. We have our shelf installed and it clips in right there, and underneath there's just a little toggle that you just push the toggle on both sides and it folds back down. Step 10 is to install the side shelf, but they want us to put a screw in here and a screw in down here first because the shelf has a hole that will receive it that way, and then a shelf will be in place, and we can screw in the other 3 screws and then tighten them all down. Those 2 screws are in, and this is the spot we're going to catch them with. Now that it's on there, we can move it into place and then screw in the other screws. You know you're getting to the end when you get to step 11, and all that is installing your ash cleanup tray. Make sure you have it installed relatively straight so it slides right in. I've worn gloves this entire time and still just putting in the ashtray, and I had cut myself on that ashtray about a ½ an inch long, so just be careful when you're putting some of these pieces in. They are very sharp. The next step is actually divided into 3 steps. So step 12A, we're going to put in our frame broiler. Now this is going to go in on an angle. Oh, that's the wrong angle. All right, so on this side, we have a place that catches on here, and then it goes on an angle this way. We will take off that sticker before we start, but let's do step 12B. Here's an upper portion. So this has got they have little tabs right here on either side, just slides in here, just like that. The important part is having this part here towards the left side. Now we are on to step 12C, and it's actually just going to be installing this adjustment bar. There's a hole here that goes through the firebox or the furnace or the grill itself, and it just attaches down here. Just like that. Now there's also a little knob that we can put on the end here. What this does is it lets us adjust the amount of heat coming in by pulling or pushing it in. All right, so the next step is we're going to install our grills. You can see that I already installed 2 racks, the upper and middle. There are little tabs on the other side in the back that just lock into place, so make sure you line that up accordingly. The bottom rack just slides in. Let's do that now. We are all in place. The next step is to install your grease bucket. This does come with an included liner, and they do sell replacement liners for quick disposal. With the exception of taking off all of your stickers, your install is completely done. I should say that it does come with 2 temperature probes. I just kept them over here. That's just so you can keep the meat at the right temperature for cooking. Congratulations, you're done. Now that we have it assembled, we have to take part of it apart because we need to do our initial priming so the pellets get fed from the hopper into the firebox. So I'm going to take off these grates, and I'm going to take off this first level of the firebox just so I can see in the bottom. I ended up removing both covers because I couldn't really see through the grates as well as I thought I was going to, because we want to see pellets coming into here. The next step we're going to do is plug it in. That's super cool. As soon as I plugged it in, this lit up, and of course so did the power button. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the power button on. We're going to listen for the auger turning, and then we're going to see if the temperature is getting warmer in the firebox. Directions tell us that after a minute we should smell the burning, and yes, I do smell that. It feels like it's getting a little warmer here, but I'm just going to wait for a little longer before I turn it back off. I've confirmed that the air coming out here is definitely warmer than it started. Now, it's not hot by any means, but I figure this is what they're talking about, so I'm going to turn it off and get some pellets. The hopper is empty. Let's start adding in our pellets. Now that we filled our hopper with pellets, we're going to turn it back on. Press and hold the prime button until we start seeing pellets come into the firebox. It's been about 5 minutes of me holding this prime button, and I can just now see pellets starting to drop. So I'm supposed to actually let go of the primer button, turn it back off, and then we're going to reassemble the grill to do our burn off. Now that I have just enough pellets in there that connect to the igniter, I'm going to put everything back together, and then we'll do an official burn off. To do our burn off, we're going to turn it on, We're going to adjust our temperature. We're going to go above. We'll just do 400 degrees or 425 degrees Fahrenheit and then set it there, and we're ready to go. Since I just did my initial priming, I must not have had enough pellets in the firebox, and so after about 3 minutes, I started seeing some smoke come out of the smokestack, and then of course now my temperature is going up. So once this hits 400 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to let it run for about an hour on its own just to burn off everything on the inside. In this video, we set up our Pit Boss Laredo 1000, and so what did I think of it? Well, first things first, the price point. I thought it was a bit expensive, but when you're looking at comparable units, it's sort of right there in line and actually maybe a little less expensive than some. The day after I set this thing up, I actually did a 24-hour smoke. Well, I should say, my brother and I, we smoked stuff for 24 hours. We're talking about pulled pork, we're talking ribs, we're talking peppers, the works, and this machine held up great. I had to refill the hopper a few times, but you know what? I was really impressed with the product that actually came out of this smoker. I just wanted to give you a little bit of my experience while smoking with the Pit Boss Laredo 1000. Now, I did not get that rolling smoke experience, although when I stood back from the machine, I could see smoke coming out of the chimney, and the product tasted really, really good. It just was not just shooting off a whole lot of smoke. Now, I don't know if that's because the machine was new, the wood choice I used, the temperature, or whatnot. Not really sure. I just wanted to let you know. I will post updates down in the description as I continue using this smoker/grill. That was my review of the Pit Boss Laredo 1000. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. We've been rocking this smoker for the past 10 hours on 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll tell you something. Last night, it got really cold. It dropped into the 30s, but every few hours we checked on the machine, it was still steadily in that 250 degree range, and I really like that. After you are finished smoking whatever it is that you're smoking, make sure you do not unplug it after you turn the power off, because what the machine's going to do after you turn the power off is it's going to burn off the rest of the pellets that are in there, therefore reducing the possibility of a clog and then potential maintenance issues. I tell you what else is really, really neat. This machine is still on, still rolling at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, but look, this handle is absolutely cool to the touch, and that is something I really appreciate. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Pit Boss Laredo 1000. You know what? Not that long ago, I actually reviewed a grill brush called the Grill Rescued, and you can use it to clean your smoker after use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe. I promise.